I think Republican primary voters really, for too many years in this state, they have demanded purity of heart and soul and voting record and what have you. It is starting to change, right? Because they're tired of losing, okay? And we had this huge Republican landslide, national, since Harry Truman, not as big, right? And even in Illinois. And what happened? They got beat by Pat Quinn, who had like a 36, 38% approval rating going into the election. Now, how do you do that? Because you just didn't run a good campaign. You didn't run a good candidate, what have you. I think I can't speak for them, but I think this time around they're looking for somebody who's going to win because they really want that job back in the party. So who are they going to look for? I think they'll be looking for someone who will do the best against Pat Quinn, who's no slouch. They counted him out against Dan Hines. They counted him out against Bill Brady. He came back both times. I don't like to make predictions like that. I will say this though: if Rauner gets out of the primary, it's not 100% that he's going to. But let's say the union money, the union attacks, probably $6-8 million by the time it's all over, don't work, and he wins. I think he's prepared to spend $100 million. This is worth about $1 billion. So would you spend 10% of your net worth to become governor of Illinois? I think he's willing to do that. There's no way that Pat Quinn can compete with that. Now, he can get his message out, but it's just going to be just barely. And it's going to be in the last 2-3 months rather than March to November. So the fundamentals don't look so good for Quinn. He was like a Cinderella team, right? That won unexpectedly, got into the NCAAs, right? 4 years ago. And now, he's up against the number 1 seed. The Republican Party claims that if you look at states that are prosperous right now, they have Republican governors. Ohio got turned around by a Republican governor. Indiana, right next door. Michigan, not too far down the block. Iowa, what have you. Wisconsin. So they claim that, they have the best solutions for what ails the country. And they point to these states as proof. So Republican success at the state level can then lead to Republican success at the national level. And if they can win Barack Obama's Illinois, he was never governor, but he represented the state for quite a number of years in a General Assembly and the U.S. Senate. If they can take Barack Obama's state back, then they can gain some confidence going in to 2016. So yeah, it does have some importance as far as some momentum goes, but more importantly on the policy level, as far as let's show the country that we can do this better than the Democrats can. And in some ways they have a point, because look at how stagnant the state is right now under complete Democratic leadership. Governor, both chambers of the General Assembly, mayor of the largest city, it's all Democrats, and they own it, and it's not something you want to own.